the Director General of CAA, who couldn't be with us. Apologies from him.
Sure.
Thank you.
Apologies accepted. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Luisha Shula Chibowa, and I'm the legal counsel from the Civil Aviation Authority. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, everyone. My name is Lisha Masia. I'm an inspector with the Civil Aviation Authority. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Colleagues, we'll start with Chawama.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. Good morning, committee members. Good morning, witness and your colleagues. My name is Brighton Undwe, Member of Parliament for Chawama constituency. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, witness. My name is Sande Chanda, Member of Parliament for Kanchibia constituency. You're very much welcome. Chair, with your indulgence, may I take leave?
Please,
Thank you.
take leave.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the session.
Civil Aviation Authority, good morning and you are most welcome. I'm Charles Mlenga, Member of Parliament for Kwacha constituency in Kitwe, and also a member of this committee you are appearing before. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, witness. My name is Lloyd Luwasha, Member of Parliament for Chifubu constituency in Ndola, and a member of this committee. You are welcome to this committee.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. My name is Rachel Mumba Mhongo from the Office of the Clerk.
Mr. There, you might want to work for Civil Aviation. We'll meet them on the boardroom.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Chimka Sakala from the ICT department.
And Muvika MP for Shangombo in Western Province and the chairperson of the committee. You are welcome. Please feel free. Thank you very much. Sure. Yes, please, we will proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair, and once again, thank you for the opportunity to come and present this on our 2 Civil Aviation Act Chapter 445 of the laws of Zambia and the Civil Aviation Act Chapter 444 of the laws of Zambia, the proposed amendments to this committee. Chair, I presume we made a submission through Parliament to this committee in relation to the comments that came from the Civil Aviation Authority, but I will go through it. I may not read it word for word, but I will just highlight the pertinent issues that have been brought out in terms of the amendments. Chair, in our introduction, as you may well be informed, that the Civil Aviation Authority is a creation of the Civil Aviation Authority Act, Chapter 445 of the laws of Zambia, to primarily regulate, promote, and ensure safety, security, and efficiency of civil aviation in the Republic of Zambia. This is in accordance with the provisions that have been put in terms of the International Civil Aviation Organization through the Convention on International Civil Aviation. Chair, I will skip to the ramifications under 2.0 on the same page of 2. The amendments, proposed amendments before you, Chair, relate to primarily the provisions under the Chicago Convention, which require to be ratified and put in the provisions of our Act, so that we primarily improve the security of our civil aviation. That is the first issue that we really want to get, to improve the security. But moreover, we have been scheduled for an ICAO audit that will happen this year, sometime in November, a security audit. So some of these provisions speak to also our readiness for the 2026 ICAO audit that we're going to have. Chair, I will start firstly with the first bill or the first proposed amendments to Bill number 3 of 2016. The first provision talks to Section 2, which is just primarily a number of definitions that have been outdated, and we therefore are proposing amendments to the Act to ensure that we introduce definitions that will speak to the current provisions as highlighted in the ICAO standards. Some of these definitions, Chair, relate to the National Civil Aviation Security Program and the National Air Facilitation Program, which will be replaced to now be called the National Air Traffic Facilitation Program and the National Civil Aviation Security Program. Chair, going on, there is also a replacement that we are trying to look at in terms of restricted area, the definition of a restricted area. We are inserting terms like the danger area, the prohibited areas, to align with the Act and with the Chicago Convention requirements, and introduces definitions which never were defined in the Act. Chair, Section 8 speaks to provisions of the powers of the Minister in relation to airspace management. As you are well known, the Minister in charge of transport designates the airspace as in whether it is prohibited, restricted, or danger area. And therefore, this section addresses those concerns. Chair, if I go on to Section 8A and Section 8B, these speak to the provisions that are important in terms of closing the regulatory gap and legal obligations for pilots in command to comply with designated air routes to avoid prohibited areas. So basically what we are saying is pilots should avoid places where we have restricted the airspace or prohibited the airspace in that area. Chair, going to page 4 and Section 73, this is a provision that just replaces the word Annex 17 with the reference of Zambia civil aviation requirements, which is our domestication of Annex 17. We cannot refer to an annex that has no legal power within our laws, and therefore what has been designated is the Zambia civil aviation requirements. Chair, Section 75 and 76 also speak to the provisions that will restructure what we're calling the National Facilitation Program provisions and update the statutory framework to reflect current facilitation requirements. This will ensure that facilitation activities comply with ICAO coordination and expectation and support the strengthening of interagency committees responsible for border, passenger, and cargo. Chair, basically, what we usually look at when we are looking at facilitation is how do we move passengers from point A to point B, including the terminal buildings, to facilitate them as quickly as possible from point A to point B. And therefore, this is usually done multi-agency because a lot of other agencies come into play. So these provisions, Chair, are strengthened also through another provision that will come later, where we are talking about the advanced passenger information and passenger name record requirements. Chair, Section 80 just looks at the provisions to introduce stronger penalties for acts of unlawful interference. These include occurring on board aircrafts or at aerodromes. These penalties, if significantly hiked, will deter would-be offenders to actually carry out these issues. Remember, Chair, some of the penalties that were within our Act that spoke to even hijack were quite minimal, and we needed to ensure that we can have stiffer penalties for such offenses. Chair, with your indulgence, I can go to page 5, section 136. This talks about the provisions that will ensure the acts of violence at airports, destruction of damage to airport facilities, or disruptions to services are criminalized where the danger or they may endanger safety. This will bring Zambia into fuller commitment and mandatory security provisions, which will close existing legal loopholes concerning ground-based threats. So, Chair, this is where we have criminality that happens where just a theft of what we call these critical air navigation facilities can actually endanger an aircraft in flight and even get to a point where we have a crash due to the fact that we do not have air navigation. Chair, Section 151, this is in terms of the provisions that will create explicit legal framework for designation of general agents and ensure foreign and local operations maintain accountable local representation. This is just to help, Chair, to actually give the people of Zambia opportunity to act as general agents in terms of clearing of foreign and local operators. So this provision, Chair, will help in that area. Chair, I seek your indulgence if I can move to the next bill, or we can still remain on this one?
I think we can move
to the next bill. Okay. So, Chair, on page 6, we now submit the provisions in relation to the Civil Aviation Authority Bill number 4 of 2016. So in this, Chair, I think we are just bringing in also alignment to ICAO provisions and ensure that we can strengthen our security as a state and align with ICAO provisions. So one of the issues, Chair, that we have brought out is the acts of unlawful interference in terms of the definition, the issues relating to passenger information, advanced passenger information, advanced passenger information system, aviation security, facilitation, passenger name record, and regulated agents. These inclusions, Chair, as I said, will align with contemporary international terminologies and provide the legal clarity required for effective aviation security and facilitation oversight. Chair, there are a number of provisions that we have put. So we are looking at Section 4, which is there to strengthen the authority's ability to enforce compliance with national aviation security policies and civil aviation requirements. This is to empower the authority to act on oversight findings and will provide improved capacity to identify and close security gaps promptly. Chair, Section 5 speaks to the restructuring of the board. As you may know, we requested for an addition of board members, new composition that draws from the Ministry of Transport and Logistics, the Attorney General's chambers, the Zambia Air Force, the private sector specialists with financial and technical expertise. This expansion composition will enrich the decision-making through diverse expertise, inter-agency collaboration, and enhance governance stability through updated nomination and attendance procedures. Chair, Section 14 speaks to the amendment will assist the removal of contradictory provisions that previously prevented the DG from granting exemptions despite other sections of the Act empowering such exemptions. Chair, this speaks to the provisions under the DG in terms of the powers under the DG, where he can grant an exemption based on a security assessment or a safety assessment that can be done and acceptable in line with international provisions. Section 19, Chair, is also speaking to the clarity and expanded the authority's role in civil aviation security. These changes emphasizes the state's responsibility to ensure aviation security remains a priority and require the development of national civil aviation security programs consistent with Chicago Convention. The amendment will empower the authority to issue security directives, oversee implementation of national programs, and incorporate facilitation functions aligned with the Chicago Convention, and upgrading this section will strengthen Zambia's compliance with global security obligations. Chair, I move to section 19A. This section will be introduced to establish the primary purpose of the authority to ensure the safety of passengers, crew, ground personnel, and general public. The previous provisions, Chair, was not holistic in terms of our primary purpose of ensuring the safety of passengers, but there are also airport staff and also other players in the industry that we need to also protect. Section 20, Chair, speaks to the provisions that will create a shift from conventional security surveys to risk-based assessments conducted annually. This is just a risk-based provision to allow the CAA to do its quality control in line with a risk assessment. Section 33A, B, and C, Chair, speak to the advanced passenger information and passenger name record. This is information that is in line with ICAO provisions of where, if there is any passenger that boards an aircraft or is intending to board an aircraft, security agencies can actually run through those passenger lists, and if we have any persons of interest, then we can have an issue where we can take necessary security provisions to deter a would-be offender that can come into our airspace. Chair, moving to page 9 and our recommendations, the authority submits that the enactment of both the Civil Aviation Bill and the Civil Aviation Authority Bill are critical to the strengthening of Zambia aviation regulatory safety and security framework. They are modernizing outdated terminologies and introducing essential definitions and align with national legislation and also the provisions under the Chicago Convention and relevant ICAO annexes. Chair, the amendments also reinforce the mechanisms and expand documentation and reporting requirements, stiffening penalties for acts of unlawful interference, and ensure operators are accountable in terms of local representation. Chair, in closing or in conclusion, it is in the view of the foregoing that the authority strongly recommends the enactment of both the Civil Aviation Bill and the Civil Aviation Authority Bill. Chair, I would like to submit our...
Thank you very much. Honorable colleagues, any points of clarifications? Honorable Msonda, are you there? Okay, Honorable Mlenga.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, our witness, for that well-coordinated submission that you've just presented. The Civil Aviation Amendment Bill number 3, under section 8A and 8B, which seeks to introduce a specific legal obligation for pilots to comply with designated air routes and also to avoid what you may term prohibited areas. For clarity's sake, amongst us as a committee, I would like you to cite probably an example of what constitutes a prohibited area. if you have one in mind, or maybe two in mind, I would appreciate if at all you can bring that out. And also the question, second question, Chair, on Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill number 4, which is looking at the composition of the board. My interest is specifically on the tenure of the board. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable, any question? Okay, can I attend to us?
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you, Honorable, for those two questions, which I think are very, very important. So, Chair and Honorable members, what constitutes a prohibited area? So what we are looking at, Chair, is any place that has security-sensitive installations or operations that we would not want an overflight of certain aircrafts to overfly them. I may not necessarily point them out, Chair, as these are security-sensitive areas,
Sure.
but these are places where the airspace has been prohibited to a certain altitude to avoid anyone or any civilian to overfly those areas. Those are the ones that are called prohibited areas. And in terms of the tenure of the board, currently it has not been tampered with. It still sits as 3 years. Yes, please.
Civil Aviation. Why has it taken you so long to come up with these amendments? Because times are changing fast. We are in a global village. We are supposed to move with time. So why has it taken you this long?
Thank you very much, Chair, for that question. Very important question. Why has it taken us long? Chair, I believe we now regularly come to Parliament, and just like in 2014, we brought an amendment to Parliament, and for this one, it is also where we are now trying to get certain provisions which were made by ICAO, some of them as early as 2025. So we're bringing them there, but also continuous improvement. I understand it may seem long, but we are now one of the regular clients to ensure that we come to this house to get our acts done.
Sure.
Yes, please.
Okay, all I can urge you is to ensure that whenever a car comes on board, there's things to be done. I think be fast moving so that we don't risk being suspended. You remember what happened some 10, 15 years ago? We were there.
True.
Yeah, so let's avoid to Zambia, for our country or airspace to be declared as not a safety place. Yeah, for business. It doesn't do. You are doing fine now because even tourism arrivals, it has really improved in the past 2-3 years. So please continue to be on the same page with the world. So any closing remarks?
Chair, is first and foremost is on the behalf of the DG is to thank this committee for giving us this provision to come and submit in relation to the two bills. And we are always grateful and appreciative that the CAA can be called to come and make their provisions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So in case of anything that you've omitted, please, Secretariat is still open. You can still send any additional information that may arise that we include in our report. Sure. But of course, unfortunately, acting MD, the immunity remains here. But I'm happy we used it to the fullest. Of course, our water, madams, you can carry. This water is blessed. When you drink this,
good afternoon. You are still watching Parliament Television. The Committee on Transport, Works and Supply has just received submissions from the second and last witness for today, the Civil Aviation Authority, and they were making their submissions on the consideration of the Civil Aviation Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2026, and the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2026. And the Civil Aviation Authority was the last witness for today, and the first witness that made an appearance before this committee was the Drug Enforcement Commission DEC. My name is Matimba Mkua. On sign language, I was joined by Jason Manda and Chola Koma. Keep watching Parliament Television. Good afternoon.
The Vice President's question time.
Questions for oral answer understanding order number 76.
For a matter to be admitted, it has to be of recent occurrence.
Continue watching Parliament TV, a channel dedicated to bring Parliament closer to you.
The National Assembly of Zambia wishes to inform members of the public that it will commemorate the 2026 Parliament Day celebrations at Parliament buildings on Saturday, 25th April 2026 under the theme Strengthening Democratic Governance through an Inclusive Parliament that meets the aspirations of the people. The event will be graced by the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Right Honorable Dr. Nelly B.K. Muti, State Council MP, FAPRA. Some of the activities lined up to commemorate this day include mobile roadshow, ceremonial march past, exhibitions. There will also be lots of entertainment. The activities are open to all members of the public and the gates will open at 10 hours. Please note that some selected constituency officers in the remaining 9 provinces will also commemorate the Parliament Day, and these are Mchanga Constituency, Mbala Constituency, Kasempa Constituency, Lumezi Constituency, Fuwe Constituency, Itejiteji Constituency, Sioma Constituency, Chelenge Constituency, and Nyamwala Parliamentary Constituency. You are all invited to be part of this commemoration. The National Assembly of Zambia, bringing Parliament closer to you.
People's game, they will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect to DSTV Compact and GoTV Super Plus today and get the best football on us.
Just like Saka and Odegaard need to work together for the perfect play.
Rising to the occasion again.
Your subscription is also at its best when paired with DSTV Stream.
This is not a coincidence.
With DSTV Stream, you can watch live TV or catch-up box sets anywhere, anytime, on any smart device. And that's just the start of its amazing features.
Are you sure?
I think this is legit.
So whenever you want to enjoy DSTV, Don't forget your free companion app, DSTV Stream. Serve goals, thrills, and high fives alongside your fries with DSTV for Business. And turn your pub, club, or restaurant into the ultimate entertainment hub with world-class live sport, breaking news, music, and so much more. Plus, with ExtraView, you can also show multiple live events at the same time. Our DSTV Play packages are tailored to meet your needs and budget. Contact us today to serve up the ultimate entertainment experience with DSTV for Business.
Democracy works best when leaders are prepared. The Institute for Parliamentary Studies and Training, IPST, of the National Assembly of Zambia, in collaboration with the Zambia Center for Interparty Dialogue, ZCID, invites aspiring parliamentary candidates, political party officials, civic leaders, and policy professionals to participate in the Preparing for Parliament program. Participants will gain insights into the roles and responsibilities of a member of parliament, parliamentary procedures and practice, constitutional and legal provisions relating to members of parliament, the National Assembly standing orders. Registration has since commenced and training venues as follows. Ndola, registration is on the 17th April and the training is on the 21st April 2026. Kasama, registration is on the 20th April 2026 and the training will take place on the 23rd April 2026. And due to overwhelming response, Lusaka will hold a second session. Registration is on the 27th April 2026 and the training takes place on the 30th of April 2026. Participation fee is 2,500 kwacha only per participant. Prepare to lead. Prepare to legislate. Prepare to save. Register now. Limited spaces available. For more information, call 0978 894430 or 0977 207703. Institute for Parliamentary Studies and Training of the National Assembly of Zambia, empowering parliamentary excellence in collaboration with the Zambia Center for Interparty Dialogue, ZCID. The National Assembly of Zambia wishes to inform members of the public that will commemorate the 2026 Parliament Day celebrations at Parliament buildings on Saturday, 25th April, under the theme Strengthening Democratic Governance Through an Inclusive Parliament that Meets the Aspirations of the People. The event will be launched by the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Right Honorable Dr. Nelly B.K. Muti, State Council, MP FAPRA. Some of the activities lined up to commemorate this important day will include mobile roadshow, ceremonial march past, exhibitions and entertainment. The activities are open to all members of the public starting at 10 hours. You are all invited to be part of this memorable Parliament Day. The National Assembly of Zambia, bringing Parliament closer to you.
Allow me to appreciate its existence, and by that I say happy 102 years to Parliament and its existence. And my word to Parliament is that we are very appreciative as students and as concerned citizens of this country of the works that have been done so far for Zambia as a developing nation. We all understand the challenges that come in, especially when it comes to legislating laws, but Parliament so far can be recorded to have done a very good job, and we highly commend that and appreciate.
I would also like to thank Parliament for allowing us to have this incredible and unforgettable experience. My experience here was amazing, such that we are even given an opportunity to visit the library. For that, we really appreciate Parliament, and I urge people out there to visit, because this Parliament is for everyone and it's for every citizen. Thank you very much, Parliament.
Well, my message to the legislature is that they should continue implementing the best of all rules, because the ones that they implement really help us as a country, because their implementation is fair. As we see them debate in the Parliament before they can actually implement, which was fairness and inclusiveness in the country. And my goodwill message to the legislature as well as the people is that we should be involved in this lawmaking for fairness. Thank you.
Firstly, we would like to wish a happy 102 to the National Assembly, and we would also like to appreciate the existence of it, and also for the public, would like to say that we really appreciate, and everything that the members of parliament that usually it's debated on, it's usually about what we, the citizens of Zambia, implement. And for that, our voices are heard out here, and we are able to make a change in our various communities and also our provinces, because anything that has been enacted, or maybe a bill that has been passed, for it to become a law, it is usually done by the people. So for that, I would like to thank the National Assembly for that.
One of the greatest experience was to be here to witness some of the issues that are raised in society by the Zambian citizens, and witnessing that in Parliament was such a great experience.
To go to the National Assemblies, we highly appreciate, because they've been establishing laws that bring about Ubuntu, which we've seen in our slogan, One Zambia, One Nation, and we can literally see it in accordance with the law and how they've enacted all the laws.
I just want to say thank you to the members of National Assembly for representing us well, and my good message goes to them that they should continue. I know it takes passion, it takes tolerance, but they should continue doing the good work that they do.
Alright, so I would like just to appreciate the legislation and the parliament for the laws which they have been making for us. Not only the laws, but also the debates and the direction which they give to the country.
My message to the National Assembly is that they should keep up with the good work that they have been doing and legislating the laws. And first of all, and I would also like to appreciate the engagement that they have had, like with the citizens at large. And yeah, my goodwill message is to the people of Zambia, obviously, is that they should be involved and engaged in this law-making process, and they should be able to know what is happening at the National Assembly.
Well, I want to say happy anniversary to Parliament for 102 years, and my message is that we really say thank you for the opportunity, firstly, for the parliamentary TV, where we can access parliamentary session in the comfort of our homes. They should include and they should continue with other measures to help the citizens there to watch the parliamentary debates into the comforts of their homes. Another thing is that we say thank you as well to the staffs for the parliament for helping with those services that helps the members of parliament to make good laws. We really say thank you.